Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with another beautiful, lovely. Sometimes she's been known to make this man a sandwich. Wife of mine, drum roll, please, Yanzi Lynn.
Hi.
Today is the day we are talking about decimated direct market as Marvel Comics pivots quickly to Penguin for everything in the future. Here we go. So if you're new to the channel, please look down below. Consider hitting like, subscribe to the channel, if you will. Let today be the day I've earned your subscription to this here channel. We do talk about pop culture, comics, things in the industry, and Marvel continues transformation of direct market. Now, this is interesting. We had talked about this before, that Penguin was coming in with Marvel and they were doing a bit of a partnership. Let us know what's going on, Yanzi.
So Marvel is no longer solely distributing through Diamond distributions. Instead, they'll be working with Penguin Random House. At first, it seemed like, oh, they're just doing that with just the trade. And it's like, no, they're doing that with everything. And the deal eventually is going to be that Penguin Random House is going to distribute everything, all the floppies and stuff. Now, I remember last year there was a bit of a fiasco with it. People complaining about, oh, the terrible condition of the stuff they received. But so far, it seems like things have been slowly improving over there.
Right.
And Penguin does have one major advantage over Diamond, though, and that is they offer free shipping. So
Yeah.
what is the deal now that's going to happen between Penguin and Diamond? And Marvel is saying, yeah, we're going to go all in with Penguin. So how is Diamond customers still going to get Marvel stuff? Well, they're going to buy it wholesale from Penguin, which is very weird. So now Diamond is no longer a distributor in the sense they're more like one of the many middlemen in the whole chain. So they're buying from Penguin to redistribute to other people. And that means that Diamond is going to have less profits. Now, at the same time, Penguin will probably have some kind of special deal with them, give them special pricing. But at no point in time, I think they'll ever make it such that they can compete with Penguin at their own game.
So people are like, who the hell is Penguin Random House? So I'm going to attest that working on Superman Earth 1, one of the big things and a big advantage of an original graphic novel was DC was going to Penguin Random House to co-op and figure out how to market such a thing outside of the direct market, meaning your local comic book shop. They already knew how to sell something to those guys. What they didn't understand is how to sell things, get these books in places they've never been. They thought at the time that would have been Borders and Barnes and Noble. Borders was a bookstore for people that don't remember. That was basically the same things as Barnes and Noble. It was nothing different. Now today we have things like Books A Million, which is the same as Barnes and Noble. They are the same company. So this is interesting in the sense that Penguin basically has access to basically the broader bookstore and marketing in a way. Marvel's going in real heavy with them. Marvel, for the most part, in my comic book career, really hasn't invested a lot of time and energy in the graphic novel. Now, they've mainly put out things like laser pointing to the new monthly, the new event, with that type of stuff, not the new graphic novel, not the collected edition. Actually, if you're a trade collector, a trade waiter, you have about a couple of months before that trade isn't offered anymore, and you end up with a crazy aftermarket price. Penguin Random House, they're basically, this is a great opportunity for them with Marvel because there's tons of evergreen trades that Marvel really doesn't capitalize off of. Why Marvel doesn't? Well, you have to store these things. You have to overprint them. They take up space. Warehouse fees occur. Things like that. So Penguin, maybe they have different deals. Maybe they have different types of warehouses they can store this stuff, whatever. But their interest is mainly in that. Now, the single issues, of course, the mechanism of the American comic book is that you do the single issues. You do about 6 issues. You compile it together. You get a trade. So if I had to talk professionally about this deal and why I find this deal really alarming, is that this is one step, I'm talking one hair away from just complete licensing Marvel Comics out. And I'll tell you why, because some of the staffers at Penguin Random House used to actually be monthly comic book editors at DC Comics. One name is Joan Hilty. She used to be a DC Comics editor, a Vertigo editor. And now she's maybe still is. She was at Penguin Random House as a book editor, a graphic novel editor, and stuff like that. Penguin Random House has actually had their fingers all in Marvel and DC continuity and stuff. You probably actually bought their books and you didn't even know it. If it wasn't a co-op graphic novel deal It was actually something like a coffee table book on who's who encyclopedia of Marvel and DC characters. Every time you see those books at your bookstore, if you look at the spine, you see a little penguin sticker. That's Penguin Random House. So there are people there that put these type of coffee table books together that actually do understand the DC Comics, Marvel Comics universe. It's very, very easy for Marvel to just up and go there. Now, what's happening also is all of Disney's books, right? All of Disney's publishing is going to Penguin.
Well, let's not forget that Disney is basically a parent company of Marvel. So if Disney says, yeah, you guys can take all our Star Wars and all the other stuff, it's basically a step away from saying, yeah, you know what, just take our Marvel stuff too at the same time.
Right. And that's what's alarming is this is, if you really get to the root or where this is stemming from, is you're seeing a big corporation, a mega corporation that owns a lot of other things that's making a very broad decision just to toss all the distribution of all their material publishing wise to Penguin Random House. Now that could be anything from activity books to coffee table books to original graphic novels to monthly comic floppies. Now, the problem with that is all of these things have a different rhythm and tempo and a time of year these things sell. Graphic novels traditionally sell best in the fourth quarter. Why? Because of holidays, because of Christmas. That's when, all the books get really pumped up. That's the heavy order season. Activity books, that would probably be a spike around the summer when kids are out of school. Things like this, it kind of changes. There's reasons and temperaments for this. Penguin Random House obviously dialed into that. Now, again, this is a big, broad decision being made to just toss it all up into one basket. Now, I'm sure there's some non-disclosure or non-compete type documents going on with DC Comics. Like DC Comics single issues can't be distributed through Penguin Random House. There's probably already deals in place with certain DC Comics trades and stuff like that with Penguin Random House. But to me, I still can't see past that we're looking at and we're facing probably Marvel Comics. Why would you still have a New York City office space that you're paying God knows how much money a year with your Marvel staffers, you're piecemealing $25,000, $30,000 a year to, and they're living in poverty level wages that they will go run articles about and get traction on and shame your company for not making enough money. We saw that Tom Brevoort, Dan Slott 616 video, the Marvel thing, complete joke of how that company's being ran. Like, why would you, when you think about it, like, why would you keep dumping money behind this old mechanism that's not selling? Creators, one, don't want to make anything new for Marvel. That's the only reason Marvel would, or Disney would allow Marvel still to exist, is they're cultivating new IP and new stuff like that. Well, nobody's really wanting to give anything to them anymore because they're so effing jaded. Stuff is being ripped off for the shows, for TV trailers, for like Thor: Love and Thunder, things like that directly from the comic book. Creators are very jaded right now. So if Marvel Comics can't develop anything new, and I don't mean like a new comic book panel, I don't mean like a new costume exactly. I'm talking about, because Penguin Random House can do that. I'm talking about a new character. If Marvel Comics and no creator really feels like giving a new concept or character to Marvel Comics, then the bigger corporation has to actually eventually ask themselves, why are we still sinking money into Marvel Comics? If it's only going to coast on the intellectual properties we own, and they're not going anywhere, and it's, all you have to do is print them every few years and renew the copyright and trademark. If we're only going to coast on the fumes of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, then why don't we just license this out and it be somebody else's responsibility to renew Squirrel Girl or Rhino or Warthog or Leapfrog or one of these weird Spider-Man villains every now and then, every couple of years in a random comic book? You could easily license that out.
That still may not happen though, because if you look at Penguin Random House's revenue, it's pretty much year-on-year growth. This is a company that would definitely prioritize profits. They're not going to make you a Squirrel Girl comic if they don't think it would sell. I think they would definitely want to make Spider-Man comics. They want to make Iron Man, Captain America comics, traditional Steve Rogers. But would they really be wanting to make, say, a Falcon Captain America comic?
Right. Well, probably not. But here's the dirty secret of that is you don't actually have to publish a Squirrel Girl comic to renew the copyright and trademark of Squirrel Girl. She just has to pop in a single issue every couple of years.
Well, I
So,
guess they can still do that. But at the same time, you're gonna have to convince people, hey, by the way, I need you to squeeze in all this old IP characters in this issue, and they'll be like, what?
Well, if that's part of the task to get this deal, I hate to say this, this is a business transaction and negotiations happen. If you are the license owner, you actually do approve and kind of guide what the person licensing it out would do. I actually think Penguin Random House is actually really interested in this. I think that's how they're getting in bed so deep with Marvel. I think there's already these conversations. If I had to guess, with Joe Quesada stepping down like last week and everything else, a lot of things were kind of happening all at once, and it's not a coincidence. I do think like there's going to be like a big changeover. I think the Penguin Random House is a thing that everybody, if you're a retailer, if you're a comic book fan, if you're even just a SJW that's hanging in there for your next job at Marvel Comics, you should all take note that there could be a change here. Probably not for the better. A lot of people are going to be like, see, I always said comics aren't going away. I know nobody's saying they're going away. They will change. Licensed comics have never really been the lifeblood of the American comic book industry. Okay. And the minute Marvel or a big mega corporation, like one of the big two, does licensing like this, and they just license themselves out, a mega corporation makes that decision, the other one's only is about competitive with the other. So if Marvel Comics went from making 80 issues a month to 50 issues a month, I mean, DC Comics is only going to try to compete on that level. They're basically competing for the same concept, and that's the American superhero. So when one becomes less competitive, expect the other one to become less competitive. And the competition is going to be in sales. It's going to be in paying creators. It's going to be in creator rights. It's going to be all over. They're going to be less competitive through and through across the board. And eventually, the reality is these mega corporations don't really need the comics like people think. They have like 80 to 100 years of this content just sitting around in a vault. All they have to do is technically keep some of this stuff in print, and that's it. Now, can it be kept in print through digital? Can it be kept in print through a new hardcover edition that just floats out there one day? They don't even really have to sell these things. They can just put a few out there into the Amazon to whatever and throw the rest at Ollie's or something and discount it. And they just renewed their copyright, trademark, and rights to it. Recently, I actually saw this with a book I bought recently, The Filth from Grant Morrison. Randomly, a hardcover came available. They're renewing their ownership of the property with Grant Morrison, I'm sure. So the rights don't revert back to him. The rest of it's dumped out at Ollie's for like $3 a book. And that's all they have to do to maintain the rights of some of these things. This is the sad, ugly truth of publishing. Here's the thing with Penguin Random House. They're about making money. So like a lot of these virtue signal comics could be good for fans. Maybe they'll do less of that. I have no idea. Only time will tell. And with that, guys, I have to point out Inglorious Rex will probably be coming down I'd say about 5 or 6 weeks. Now, this is an independent comic that me and Yanzi Lin have been working on for quite some time. Very excited about this campaign. And I'm going to leave you guys with the trailer for Inglorious Rex. We're getting new backers constantly. Want to thank you guys for all the support. This campaign, we're about into the last third of the book, coming up on 200, and we're trying to get to 263. So if you guys haven't checked it out, please go check it out now. And I'll leave you guys with the trailer and catch you guys again with another video.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power. I got